breaking news in a CBS Sports HQ where Luka Doncic has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Makes sense with Dallas trading him because they're probably fucking over him. This is the negotiations going on. He's like, the Mavericks probably going, nah, fuck this. Give him 5 or 6 years. He still comes back out of shape. It still takes him a while. He gets to the finals. He gets blown out. Can't play 7 games. Like he fatigues, his hamstrings, soft tissue injuries, which means you're fucking overweight. Dude, you're getting paid fucking $50 million a year.
Anymore. It's a question we're all wondering in the NBA. Welcome inside Studio J. It is the NBA on TNT pregame presented by CarMax, and we are still processing what has happened. Vince Carter, Candace Parker, the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, Adam Lefkoe here. And you may think I've never seen this before, and you would be right. Because for only the 3rd time in history, a player that has made 5 All-NBA first teams in their first 7 seasons is playing for another team. Wilt, Kareem, and now Luka Doncic. Unbelievable.
Is Benjamin Button of the NBA. I've watched him play now the last couple of weeks. He just seems to get younger. He's in the Wayback Machine right now, Greeny.
He would go crazy last night, scoring 21 in the first half, doing it from everywhere. You saw him inside, you saw him outside, you see him taking it into the lane, and then late in the half, the Lakers leading by 20. And it's LeBron finishing through contact. Free throws good. Lakers up 23 at the half. So all that was left was to see.
I made the decision, so. But it was just, shocking in the sense of who was involved, obviously. With Luka and AD. I don't know. I don't have much words for it.
What do you think it will take for this partnership to be really productive as best as can be?
Whatever we want it to be. It won't take long. I could play with anybody. And I think he can as well, so we'll work well together.
Any concerns that because you brought in a young star, that some of these priorities kind of might shift more towards the future rather than the present?
What's wrong with that? If I had concerns, I would have waived my no trade clause.
LeBron had, and then he finishes. What did he do? He pointed right at Luka Doncic and said, "Are you ready for this? Because this is what's coming." And it is something that Luka has never played with anybody of that caliber. If you're Luka Doncic, how are you not motivated?
Wow. Luka to the Lakers. What? Anthony Davis to Dallas. Huh? Advantage Dallas.
Say what? Yes, advantage to Dallas. Are you kidding me? Are you smoking the wrong pipe? There's no doubt in my mind the better deal here is Luka Doncic to the Lakers. I just can't see, even though Anthony Davis is a good player, that Dallas will win the comp now without Luka Doncic. And we will see. Kyrie Irving might have something to say about that. We will see. But yes, can Lakers win the premiership with LeBron and Doncic? We will see. But potentially next year, I'd say, if they can get a little bit improved squad on top, unless there's some late draft pick that happens this year. But there's definitely a chance. But yeah, it's absolutely, this story has just bamboozled the media this last week. I had to get on top of it. What is happening? What's doing? Well, yes, it's obviously the big thing. It's been the big thing to talk about. But let's get straight to it. Yes, we're going to see what Jason Kidd, the coach of Dallas Mavericks, had to say about this. And we'll talk about some of the what you could say is some absolute madness out there, in my opinion. Let's check out what they're saying right there and some of the journalists, and I'll be back shortly.
Brian, do you want to rock out and be with Luka? Because if he do, Luka gonna end up being, like me and E.T. was talking, and he was like, if he get around Brian, Luka gonna end up being the best player in the world for the next 10 years.
It's, it's something that, as Nico's brought up, we are aligned, right? And so just understanding Luka, when I first came here, excited about the opportunity to coach an upcoming star and who became a mega star. And I was just blessed to have that opportunity to coach him. But when you look at the vision of the team and what Nico wants to build, I truly support that. And truly believe that the players that we're getting are the ones that can help us achieve that, and that's to win a championship.
Yeah, Jason Kidd, I think you're smoking the wacky tobacco to think you're going to be winning a premiership in the next couple of years. No way, Jose. Not in my opinion. I think it's an absolute nonsense they're talking here. I don't even think he agreed with the decision, even though Anthony Davis is a great player. I think it was just PR stunt because the owner wanted him out with the general manager. Gone. Yes, absolutely gone, Burger. Absolutely out of this world. I just don't know how you can think that in this day and age this would even work as a thing. But yeah, Luka Doncic, well, yeah, the question mark would be, is there some frailties in his defense? Absolutely. He's got a lot of work to do there to really get himself going there. But can LeBron turn him around? Which you heard earlier in the clips of LeBron saying he can get it done for you. LeBron can play with anybody. Well, we will find out if he can play with anybody, that is for sure. I thought we better look at what Charles Barkley has to say about all this altogether. And check out a few other clips, and I'll be back soon.
I think the most shocking thing about this trade is a couple things. Number one, you never trade stars for stars. I'm trying to remember, I've been in the NBA for 40 years. Normally when you trade a star, you get a bunch of junk back. This is the first time I can remember where you got two all-NBA players traded for each other. I mean, obviously, I don't remember every trade, but I'm trying to think. You guys got a great staff there behind the scenes. I don't remember the last time we traded probably never will you trade an all-NBA player for an all-NBA player. So that's probably, and the second thing is, normally when stars get traded, you hear a lot of rumblings and you just put them up for the highest bidder. So I think those are the two first aspects of this trade that are shocking. Star for star, and normally they didn't go for the highest bidder. They went for a quick deal and it was over.
Would you have taken a different approach there? Would you have gone to other teams to at least see what's out there? And then if Anthony Davis is the best deal, the best player you can get, that package was the best, you go with it. But at least go see what's out there.
Well, in fairness, they got a hell of a player. Anthony Davis is an all-NBA player. That kind of goes back to what I said earlier. If they take another deal, they might get a bunch of draft picks and a couple role players. They got an all-NBA player back. So unless you get Joker, Giannis, I'm trying to think, all-NBA players.
Embiid be the only other guy, but you're not taking Embiid.
No, you're not taking Embiid with his injury history. So they got a really good deal. Now, listen, the Mavs obviously had to make a decision this summer whether to give him 5 years, $350 million. That's a lot of money to give a guy you don't think can stay in shape who's always going to be hurt. And let me tell you something. The only people know Luka Doncic is the Dallas Mavericks, guys who've been with him for years or who are around him every day. He's a great player. He's a great player. But all us talking heads, they know something. They must know something we don't know. Because, listen, he's been hurt. Everybody complains about his conditioning. But once you give a guy 5 years, $350 million, y'all are stuck together for life.
Stuck together for life, my ass. Yes, Dallas Mavericks weren't sticky with Luka Doncic at all. Absolutely no way. I'm sure there's more to this falling out. Was it a coaching staff issue? Was it a player issue? We may never know the real answer to that, but there was some moving and shaking. And obviously his condition issues was obviously a big talking point going through the people. Because if you are the number one player in this team and you are popping out lazy, fat when you return and you're not fit, I mean, if you want to be the MJ, you want to be the number one dog in the league and everything. And at the moment, he is nowhere near that. And hopefully LeBron James can get it done for you. But yes, this is interesting. But the trade for Dallas Mavericks for me, even though you could argue maybe overall it's a better one, but long term I think Luka Doncic would be the better one. But at the end of the day, they've got to win a premiership, don't they? And that's why pardon the interruption boys are coming in right here, right now, to give you their take on what they think about the trade. Because you got Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis on paper looks good, but should they get rid of the general manager.
Late Saturday night, to the shock of all. We've had a couple of days to consider all of it. Wilbon, does it make sense to you that the Mavericks dealt away Luka, and what does this do for them?
You know, when you first asked that question, it's a great question, Tony. And the answer is no. It doesn't make any sense. That's why all of us were so stunned and we're running around calling people and asking other folks, was Shams hacked? Was his account hacked? We don't believe this, even having said it out loud. But now you said we have some hours, to look at it. And it makes sense in this way. If you're going to keep Luka Doncic and you're the Dallas Mavericks, you're going to have to sign him to a supermax deal worth about $350 million over 5 years. To do that, you want a guy who you think is as committed as is humanly possible, is as great, is as maximizing of his skills as, over time, Russell and Alcindor Jabbar and as Magic Bird and as Jordan and as Kobe and as LeBron. You want somebody that committed. Luka's not that. He hasn't been that. As great as he's a wizard with the basketball. He's a global icon. But he comes in overweight. He's overweight all the time. He's not in condition. He doesn't have that kind of detail about himself that, say, LeBron James, Tom Brady, that those champions have had. And so you're saying, wait a minute, you don't have that. Why am I going to commit this to you? And that's what Nico Harrison did and has done. And I understand it, but it's hard to reconcile. And I don't know that I would have had the courage to do that.
Yeah. We're going to have differing opinions on this, as you well know, because we've had private conversations. I've watched this network and other networks and seen dozens of people hysterically reacting to this particular trade. As you know, I'm sort of contrarian about it. I think it is a great trade for Dallas in the short term.
Yes, I know.
In the short term, I think it's a great trade. I think Dallas can win the NBA championships because of this trade this year. I think that Anthony Davis, when he's on the court, is a terrific two-way big man.
Yep, he is.
And they have a championship point guard. I don't know that I want to go to dinner with Kyrie Irving, but I know what he can do on a court. Yeah. He's got a ring. Luka Doncic does not have a ring. He's got a ring. And with Luka out of the way, it's going to be his show, and we have seen him do this. Plus, they have Klay Thompson, who they didn't have last year.
That's right.
And Anthony Davis's presence on the court is going to get more shots for Klay Thompson. Having said all this, I think that the general manager who made this trade ultimately will be fired because of this trade, because the trade is insane. Okay?
Even if they win,
even if they win, he will be fired in a little bit longer time. The trade is insane. You cannot trade a 25-year-old player who may be the best player in the world. You cannot do this on any.
What do you think about Luka Doncic? That the general manager will get the sack from Dallas Mavericks in time with the failure of not winning a premiership? I think that's correct. I think absolutely that is going to happen. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the fourth. Well, let's have a look at Stephen A. Smith and team, and they talk about the $1 million loss for Luka Doncic. Will he get that back in time? Is it a great business decision from Dallas Mavericks, or was it an absolute joke? Yes, but we will find out next 3 years if Dallas Maverick will win a comp, or they don't. It will be a dud deal. And the same for, they probably got about 5 years more. Lakers probably got a bit more in the tank in terms of time to make this deal worth it. But we will see. But yes, you got to be tripping. Yeah, absolutely interesting to see what happens there. We also got to check out what the Dallas Maverick fans are thinking about all this. What's really happening out there? Is it disappointment for them? It really is one of those times. Will Lakers get redemption? Well, let's check out what the Dallas Mavericks have to say about this.
He's no longer eligible for the Supermax. They've cost him over $100 million by trading him from Dallas to L.A. and didn't care. In the end, you take all of that into consideration. There's so much more to this story. Kyrie, the ball's going to be in his hands. Him and Anthony Davis is going to be the cornerstones offensively. You get all of that stuff. LeBron James, what's he going to do, even though everybody's saying he's staying? Some people saying he should waive his no-trade clause, go to the state of New York. We'll get into all of that later. But this move, to see somebody of Luka's caliber be traded like this, not to be told. Even his agent, Bill Duffy, didn't know, who's a veteran, one of the great agents this business has ever known. He didn't know. Luka didn't know. You don't see that happening very often. It's definitely a change in the landscape. Owners are loving this. It's sending the right kind of message in their eyes. We're the ones in control, not them. All of that comes into play with this one move. It was a statement being made, as far as I'm concerned, not just by the Dallas Mavericks, but by the league. And I think the fallout is going to be dramatic, to say the least.
Absolutely. I think there's two absolutely fascinating things. One, on the Dallas side, they had Luka Doncic under what they say in the league, under control, okay? He had qualified for the Supermax. That meant that this summer they were going to sign him to a 5-year extension. The ability to lock down a player in his mid-20s who's one of the greatest players in the league on a 5-year extension is the dream for franchises. That's what the Thunder can do with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this summer. And I'm telling you, on June 30th, Oklahoma State troopers are going to be there to escort the piece of paper into his house so that the paper doesn't blow away in the wind to make sure that they sign it. That's how amazing it is. And the Mavericks looked at that and said, you know what? We don't think he's worth $350 million. Yeah. We can't stomach even giving it to him. So that's one unbelievable situation with a 25-year-old guy who's been a 5-time first-team All-NBA player. I just want to point something out. Steph Curry hasn't made first-team All-NBA 5 times. This guy's 25. He's already done that. Okay. Then you have the Lakers side. They just hit a grand slam, all right? They were not going anywhere this year. They may have gotten hot at the right time and healthy at the right time, and LeBron and AD played great at the right time, and they may have gotten to the second round of the playoffs. But this team had a ceiling on it, which is one of the reasons why there was such hope that they could use their trade assets to somehow get a player like this. They now not only are able to make an incredible value trade. That's right. I just said they traded Anthony Davis, who is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And it was a value trade because they got incredible value for him because they get a 25-year-old who is not even in his prime yet, who has the potential to be a dominant player for the next decade. And then they, Stephen A., get to sign him to that 5-year contract this summer. And they get to do it at a $100 million discount.
My whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life. This is ridiculous. This is crazy, man. We went to the NBA Finals. Why are we trading the best player, the franchise player? How are we trading the franchise player? You went to the NBA Finals. He's supposed to have a statue. Hell yeah. He's supposed to have a statue. Dirk got a statue right there. It's supposed to be Luka right there. Why we don't got a statue for Luka? This new management is putting profit over fans. Profit over fans. Feel me? They're not worried about the fans. They don't care that we've invested 7 years of it believing in Luka, believing in building a team around Luka. They don't care about that. They just want to make their gambling money, make a couple $100 million, and leave us stuck out here. Now we're back to square one. We're back to square zero. You feel me? It's ridiculous. Luka filled that stadium. Who gonna fill it now? Who gonna fill that stadium now?
Like I said, I was upset. I was confused because, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, what is your mindset, right? Why would you trade Luka? And if you are to trade Luka, why would you not get the best trade package available for him? That was just such a horrible perspective. That was just such a horrible trade. At least make it make sense. You know what I mean? Make it at least a decent trade. But that was just a terrible trade. Hate this. Hate everything about it. I hope Luka goes crazy on us. You know what I mean? I'm done with the Mavs right now, bro. It's done.
These guys, this Nico, they finished with my dreams. Okay. And this place, American Airlines, the Mavericks, this was my safe place. And now I have nothing. Basically, they screw up the best sport thing in Dallas. I'm so sad, man, for real. I'm sad.
Well, the Dallas Mavericks fans, they say they're absolutely ridiculous. They want to burn their jerseys. They want to leave the state. It's absolute sadness for them out there. But what do you think at home? Who do you think got the better of the trade? Leave a comment down and I will reply to you all. Who do you think got the best out of the trade? Did the Lakers get the trade with Luka Doncic learn from LeBron to be the next big thing in basketball? Or will Anthony Davis move to Dallas Mavericks, win them a premiership? We will win them the championship. What do you think out there? Let's get to it. Remember to like and subscribe to Barry Charles News, your one-stop shop for everything current events related, and I'll be back with another video soon.